All right, how's it going? You probably get the edification of data that you need. You probably want to look at other videos. So I just thought I'd tell you my side of the story, okay? To where, man, like a little bit about Philly or whatever. I had my great grandparents who moved out there in the 20s from right outside of Albany, Georgia, because farming was getting to a point that was really no longer profitable. Like my great great grandfather and two of his brothers, the work at the factories. They started the AME Church up there on 60th and Chestnut, and I think they had it for about 100 years before it closed. I believe in 2019 or 20, right during COVID or right before COVID. So uh, I probably got about 400 people with my last name Spivey that live in Philly. My dad is from Philly. I didn't grow up in Philly. I grew up in Hampton, Norfolk, Virginia, because I think my dad didn't want to be up there. Um, when I used to go up there and spend summers with my grandmother, I mean, you would hear about stuff happening or whatever, but the chances of somebody being killed is the chances of you jumping off a two-story building tomorrow. I had a couple of cousins up there that got killed. My dad grew up in the bottom. My dad grew up on 43rd and Fairmount. Okay, but I know one of my cousins got killed over there on 44th and Brown around the corner and all that. But, you know, the way I saw Philly coming from the country and all that, it was like, for me, kind of like a big playground. I was like a big kid. We used to get on the L over there on Market Street and go down to the gallery and all that, okay, downtown. And when I got old enough to where I had a car there, I used to go up either to the northeast or, down on South Street or whatever. I always looked at Philly as a great place. But now I want to probably say over the last few years, Philly is almost like worse than Chicago, or it's getting like the new LA. I mean, to me, Philly is almost like Iraq or Afghanistan, almost to me. In 2021, I was talking about this. They had about 640 murders. They're probably going to finish up like top three. I just got off the phone with my cousin. They're up to like 500 or so murders. This one murder, you guys may, if you in the know, you may have heard about it. This is the son of this Gillie the King, okay? Some type of legendary rapper in Philly. I never heard of the guy. So he must have been some underground rapper that's got a show on TV, on YouTube. I just subscribed to it to see what he got to say. It's got about 2 million people, subscribers on that show. And this other guy named Wallow. Now, I've heard of that name vaguely. And again, they had a son. I know his nickname is YNW Cheese. And I don't know if that's any affiliation to those guys in Atlanta, but it was a triple type of shooting up there in North Philly. I understand that the area is somewhat close to Temple University, which is Temple, I believe, is like Broad and Stinson, somewhere around that area, if you know the area well enough and so forth. Okay? And there was times where I'm just starting to hear about Temple University stuff going down out there, but there was a time I wasn't hearing about anything going on in Temple. That was like one of the safe spots in Philly. Okay? Or unless you're probably going to go down there where Independence Hall is, where the monuments are and that type of stuff, or Essington. That's where I like to go when I go to Philadelphia. Okay? But it gets to where now, hell, you can't even go on South Street now. Okay? Without worried about getting robbed or something like that. Okay? You really got to keep your head down out there, but I mean, I'm hearing a lot of things about sacrifice, or, this guy, this is the parent. Who's this guy? Gillie the King had was given a large sum of money and didn't get his kids out of the hood and all that other stuff up in North Philly. Okay, but if I would had the opportunity, I would say this: there ain't no punk move about getting out of if you was in rough livings or underprivileged community. Okay, now I'm not saying that the rest of my uncles and aunts or whatever they did okay. Many of them, you know, did fairly decent. Was actually my dad was the only sibling I think out of 10 that got out of the city of Philadelphia. Okay, and you know many of them did fairly well or whatever. I've had some that my uncles and aunts that retired now. Okay, but that's not really far as in crime and all that other stuff. Okay, crime don't pay. Whatever happened to that young man and those other two guys. Okay, but it don't have to be hood. It's got it could be another way. They've got a million opportunities, a billion opportunities to do anything else. Now, the other two guys, they were in the hospital. In my opinion, I've done enough of these or heard enough of these stories to tell you that it sounds like an execution to me. I'm sorry about the light, y'all, all right, because I'm kind of weaving through mountains. I'm up in Utah. Uh, this is really, really big, a big thing up in Philadelphia, I guess, of a high profile incident like this. But Philly is not safe. I'm thinking if you are doing something that you're not supposed to do, if you don't find something else to do in closing, there's either one of three things is going to happen. You're either going to go to jail, you're going to get killed, or you're going to end up some has-been talking about what you used to do. You'll probably be out, but you're probably going to end up broke. Okay? And that's what I like to end you with. And thank you for your time. Check out some of the other videos and so forth. Like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments, all right? For anything that I missed. Thank you.